results. This is where ideas forge innovation, dreams unleash opportunities, and contenders become champions. How far do you want to go? The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
The views expressed in the following program do not necessarily represent the views of the staff and management of WVUA 23.
Bringing you analysis and insight into the Crimson Tide. Your Crimson cover hosts, John Copeland, Mike Parker, and Chase Goodbread. Sponsored by Burnham Hahn and by Crimson Village.
Welcome in once again to Crimson Cover Television. I'm Chase Goodbread of the Tuscaloosa News. I'm joined by former Alabama All-American defensive end John Copeland. Our third co-host, Mike Parker, not able to be with us tonight. We got a lot to get to here on CCTV. The Texas A&M Alabama dust-up of the summer between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. It's the gift that keeps on giving, John. A little bit more news this week on that front. Alabama and alcohol sales at sporting events is back in play. Hadn't been approved yet or anything, but it's back on the discussion table anyway. We're going to preview the Missouri Tigers as we look around the SEC team by team throughout the summer. Recruiting news, Najee Harris's 2021 season, a little bit more on what he did last year and how they're going to deal with it going forward. So plenty to get to. We start, though, John, with the latest from the Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban saga of the summer. You know Nick Saban has long been ready for this to be put to bed, but it just has a way of staying in the news. Come this week, we learn that Texas A&M sent a letter to Greg Sankey upset with Saban's comments that A&M had bought its whole recruiting class with NIL money. And called for not only Saban to have to publicly apologize, but also called for potentially suspension of games for Saban, financial penalties, meaning fines for Saban. That's what Texas A&M, the athletic director, Ross Bjork, wrote a letter to Greg Sankey saying this is what you should do. Well, he sent the letter on the same day, John, that Jimbo Fisher had his press conference where he shot all 12 barrels of his guns. And come to find out, Ross Bjork, the AD, sent this letter not before Fisher's press conference, but after. So he's asking for penalties to go on to Saban that his coach just deserved and then some.
The thing is, Chase, if you have this, and I'm assuming that this email was probably written before Jimbo Fisher got on the podium for this press conference.
There's no question. There's no question.
You would think so. Yeah. You would think so. You would want to talk to your head coach before he go up and say, look, I have this email ready for Sankey. Take the high road.
Right.
Don't go out there and shoot 12 barrels of your shotgun because I'm trying to get this pass through Sankey in the SEC. But nah, Jimbo went out there blazing, young guns.
And come to some emails that came out this week through Freedom of Information requests to Texas A&M. They provided some emails that went between the school and Sankey the morning of Fisher's press conference. And before Fisher even went, Sankey had to know that Fisher was hopping mad, and Ross Bjork, the TAMU AD, he absolutely had to have known as well. Jimbo Fisher was a volcano ready to explode that morning.
But let me ask you something, Chase, before you go farther, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If I'm the AD, right, and I'm suspecting that my coach is mad,
don't put him up there.
Wouldn't you have a conversation with him? At least have a conversation before he go.
Don't put him up there. Or look, Jimbo Fisher went in there initially with a 10-year, $75 million deal. Does he take Ross Bjork's advice on that as the football coach? Does he have more clout in the athletic department to tell the AD this is what I'm doing, end of story?
Yeah, maybe. That makes more sense.
So it was interesting timing, though. The press conference for Jimbo started at 10 in the morning. It was over at roughly 10:20. 10 minutes later, Bjork sends an email blasting Saban for doing the same things that Jimbo did.
George, let me tell you something about the commission, all right? The commission that we call the SEC, all right? You sending an email to the underboss. Sink is the underboss. Nick Saban is the godfather. There's not much Sankey can do to Nick Saban, regardless of what you sent or what you thought he might have, as in penalties. Nick is the godfather. It's going to be hard to do anything to Nick Saban unless he go out and do something drastic.
No doubt, no doubt. Bottom line, though, Bjork knew that he had to have known that this letter was obviously pre-written ahead of the press conference. Bjork's name's on it. He knows what's in it. He knows what it says. And after watching Fisher say what he said, he sent it anyway. I can't wrap my head around that. And I wrote about that earlier this week.
Well, maybe it could be a situation where you're just backing your coach. You know your coach was out of line, and you're just showing your coach, look, I'm going to send this email, and this is what I did. I'm backing you, so I got your back.
What about the October 8th game in Tuscaloosa between the Aggies and the Tide, John? It is going to be absolutely lit. I think it
would have been a big game regardless of what happened this summer. But now it's going to be astronomical.
It's going to have the same atmosphere as an Iron Bowl. It's going to have the same atmosphere as an LSU, a big Alabama LSU. That's the kind of energy that you're going to see in Bryant-Denny Stadium on October 8th. All right, moving on. Looks like Alabama is now reconsidering alcohol sales at sporting events. The city has reportedly dropped plans for a service fee that was going to go to help first responders, security, et cetera, extra police, et cetera. There was disagreement at one point between the city and UA about this service fee and what it entailed and should be. As it turns out now, the city has agreed to drop that service fee. The UA, however, will donate, I believe, $250,000 a year for 4 or 5 years to the police, to the city to help out with the demands of extra city personnel in places where alcohol is being sold, John. And that,
Chase, I'm kind of neutral here. I'm kind of neutral. I don't care one way or the other. I've been to ball games where I've had the opportunity to have a couple of drinks here and there, and I've been to ball games where I didn't get that opportunity, and I still had a ball. So I'm neutral. I mean, if that's something the fans want, and that's something the university and the city can take advantage of, so be it.
Alabama still hadn't made up its mind for sure yet on whether this is going to happen, but it's back on the discussion table anyway. And I think eventually it will happen, John. The SEC opened the door for all schools to make up their own minds on that. And some are going for it, some are not. Alabama has sat on the decision, at least up to this point. But at some point it looks like.
Well, I would say this, though. When LSU come to town, cut it off. No alcohol when LSU come to town. We'll take that hit.
A little bit of scheduling news for you as well. Alabama adds a couple of future games, one against Eastern Illinois. That's set for 2025. That'll be a home game November 22nd. That'll be right before that Iron Bowl. UT Martin set for Saturday, September 16th, 2028. Obviously an early season game there. Alabama, John, has really set up some tough non-conference games in the future. And a lot of these years, I think starting in 2025, they're going to be taking on 2 Power 5 non-confererence games a year. So the schedule's getting tougher, but you're still going to have at least 1 or 2 of these homecoming games.
And you need that.
And so do they, because they need that check.
There's no question about it. No question about it. Look, the guys making these decisions, Case, a lot smarter than we are. I get it. I understand it from a fan's perspective. Not so much, but from the business perspective, yeah, I get it.
All right, we got a lot more to come here on Crimson Cover. Stick around. When we return, we're going to be previewing the Missouri Tigers as we look around the SEC East with our weekly team-by-team preview. We're going to have a little bit of recruiting news. Plenty more to come. Stick around. You're watching CCTV on WVUA 23.
Burnham Hahn Exterminators offers termite and pest control solutions for residential and commercial customers in the West Alabama area. Family owned and operated, now in its third generation, we stay up to date with the latest advancements in the pest control industry to protect your family and home from pests. We're an authorized operator of the Centricon baiting system. Burnham Hahn Exterminators, here when you need us. Call us today for your complete termite and pest control services.
Hey, Chris Stewart here. Summer savings arrive early at Townsend Honda.
We've got the certified pre-owned Honda you're looking for, backed by a Honda warranty and a price that'll make you happy.
Townsend Honda wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us.
Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Save at the pump with Honda's fuel-efficient lineup. Summer savings are here.
Shop Townsend Honda, Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa, or online, townsendhonda.com, where every new Honda comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty.
WVUA 23 welcomes Tuscaloosa's very own Tamika Alexander as our new senior news anchor. Our local news team now brings more than 50 years of experience to you and continues our commitment to bring high-quality local journalism to you every day. Starting in July, join us on the News at 5 and 6 as we begin the next chapter of putting Tuscaloosa's news first.
When you want to follow Crimson Tide sports, there's only one show that takes you behind the scenes. The award-winning Tider Insider TV. Join Rodney Orr and Gary Harris every Tuesday night at 6:30 for the latest on all things Crimson. Rodney and Gary provide in-depth analysis, interviews with coaches and players, and much more. Tider Insider TV, Tuesday nights at 6:30, only on WVUA 23.
Welcome back to Crimson Cover Television on WVUA 23. This segment brought to you by Burnham Hahn Exterminators and that quality local service in Tuscaloosa since 1946. Burnham Hahn offers complete pest and termite services for residential or commercial needs. If it's mosquito control, if it's fire ant treatments, they'll take care of it. Also licensed operators of the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. You got to have that as a year-round service if you're a homeowner. So call Clay Hahn and his staff. They'll get you started with a monthly or quarterly pest control program. Give them a ring at 553-4433 or go online and visit burnhamhahn.com. All right, John, we jump into our SEC preview. We just a couple of weeks to go here to finish off the SEC East. Then we'll get into the SEC West as we get toward the 4th of July. But for now, looking at those Missouri Tigers, John, last season, 6-7 on the year. They were 6-6 regular season, lost a bowl game. 3-5 in the SEC. They finished 4th in the SEC East. Ended up losing to Army in the Armed Forces Bowl. That score 24-22.
Chase, the biggest problem with that Missouri have in the East is that South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky are up-and-coming teams that are playing really good football, and those are the teams that Missouri would normally beat in years past. But those teams are really putting a great product on the football field, and because of that, Missouri's not winning a lot of SEC games.
I'm with you on Kentucky. I'm not with you on South Carolina.
I think South Carolina.
Kentucky's on the ups. Kentucky legit is significantly better than Missouri right now.
Tennessee is going to be there too, and also think South Carolina going to be there. They're going to be much better than Missouri. I'm not saying South Carolina going to go win a SEC East, no, but they're going to be much better than Missouri.
They're going to finish behind Kentucky.
Oh, no question about that. We're not talking about Kentucky. We're talking about Missouri.
But I understand
Missouri
what
defense is awful.
Oh, I know. It was one of the worst defenses in the league last year.
Missouri offense never show up in a big game.
I'm not. We got off track. I'm not defending Missouri. I'm telling you, I don't. You said they've fallen behind. Here we go. Some offensive players to watch for Missouri. Brady Cook or Sam Horn, the incoming freshman, will take over at quarterback. Nathaniel Pete at running back. Toski Dove, the wide receiver. Defensively, Trajan Jeffcoat, Isaiah McGuire, Martez Manuel. A couple outstanding defensive ends for the Tigers. Toughest games.
Man, nobody caring about that. Let's get back to the conversation. Listen.
Toughest games. Here they are. We'll come back to these.
They're gonna lose all that. They're gonna lose.
Georgia,
lose
Florida,
all those games.
at Tennessee, they lose them all. I think you're right. I think they do. All right, go ahead.
And my point was, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky is the reason Missouri gonna always be in the bottom of the East. That's all I said.
They've won the East a couple times.
But how long ago?
Oh, it's been a while.
I'm talking about
it's been a while.
This upcoming next 2-3 years.
I understand that. And look, what you said that I disagreed with, John, was that they'd fallen behind Kentucky and South Carolina. I agree on Kentucky.
And Tennessee.
And Tennessee, but I'm not so sure on South Carolina.
Oh, yes, they are.
I don't know if South Carolina is ready to make that jump.
South Carolina, I'm not saying South Carolina is going to be a contender in the East. I'm saying South Carolina is going to beat Missouri consistently for the next 3 years.
All right, defense definitely where Missouri has to improve, John. Offensively, they always have a playmaker or two. And look, defensively, they always seem to have a top-notch pass rusher, but they can't. They usually are weak in the secondary. They're usually pretty weak against the run. They always got one or two that can get after the quarterback.
If I'm an SEC football player and I got the opportunity to go to different schools in SEC, anywhere except Vandy, I'm not going to Missouri. I'm just not. It don't stand. When you think about the SEC, you think about Vandy before you think about Missouri. Players are not going to Missouri. It's not happening.
All right, we move on to a little bit of recruiting news now. Northridge offensive lineman Wilcom Formby is going to be announcing his decision Monday, 7 p.m. in the school gym at Northridge. John, some thoughts from you on this. He's considering Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. And, of course, John, you're an assistant. You see him on a regular basis over there at Northridge. Will you be on hand Monday night in the gym?
I'll talk to him every day. I talk to Wilkins every day. And, yes, I'll be there when he decides where he's going to play ball. I'll talk to him every day. And the thing that I like the most about Wilkins have nothing to do with athleticism. It's his confidence. This kid probably one of the most confident players I've ever been around on a high school level. He believes he's going to be great. He worked outside of what we do to be great.
Was he like that as a sophomore, or did he have to grow into that?
No, he was like that in the last year. At the end of last season, he put in the work, and he knows that what he's capable of because of the work that he put in. One of the most confident high school football players I've ever been around. He believes it. He believes it's going to happen. He believes that he's not just going to go to a school and be on a roster. He believes he's going to go to a school and be a stud, and he believes that.
When he gets to his first fall camp, wherever he ends up going to school, what is he going to do well immediately, and what will he have to work on immediately?
I think preparation is going to be his biggest asset. I think he's going to be willing to do whatever it takes to improve. I think his biggest thing that he's going to need to improve on is understanding that there are guys there that have been there 3 years before you got there. Mm-hmm. You might be in a situation where you got to work your turn, and that's going to be the biggest adjustments for him.
All right, lots more to get to here on Crimson Cover. Be sure to stick around when we come back. We're going to take a look at that Crimson Cover mailbag and plenty more. You're watching CCTV on WVUA 23.
good to know that in this impersonal world, there's still a local home-owned drugstore that can take full care of you and your family. The good folks at Northport Pharmacy. Owner and pharmacist Rob Colburn will personally see that all of your prescriptions are quickly and accurately filled and your questions answered. And be sure to check out their gift gallery for the finest in gift selections featuring Alabama merchandise, photo frames, children's clothing, beachwear, jewelry, and more. Remember, when you have pharmaceutical needs, see the man who will take the time to get to know you. Rob Colburn at Northport Pharmacy, located next to CC's Pizza, Highway 82 in Northport. Burnham Hahn Exterminators offers termite and pest control solutions for residential and commercial customers in the West Alabama area. Family owned and operated, now in its third generation, we stay up to date with the latest advancements in the pest control industry to protect your family and home from pests. We're an authorized operator of the Centricon baiting system. Burnham Hahn Exterminators, here when you need us. Call us today for your complete termite and pest control services.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects sparks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
Junior achievement is where dreams take flight. We are helping students connect what they learn in school to future work and career success. We are teaching them how to manage money to achieve financial security as adults. And we are showing them that starting a business also means changing lives and communities. However, we can't do it alone. Find out how you can help.
We want to hear your good news stories and be a bright spot. Share your stories with us. Visit us online and click on Bright Spots or message us on social media.
Welcome back to Crimson Cover Television. This segment brought to you by Crimson Village, the most active and fun-loving aging adult community in Tuscaloosa. Residents get the finest in dining and lifestyle experiences with great amenities over there at Crimson Village, conveniently located off of Veterans Memorial Parkway, offering 3 levels of care, including the Tide Memory Care program. They take the highest of precautions when it comes to COVID-19. So call transition specialist Tim Eads at 632-6699 or visit crimsonvillage.com. And remember, Crimson Village owns fun. We love getting over there once in a while. We should get back over there this summer, John, and chat it up with some of the residents.
It's an outstanding place.
Super facility over there off of Veterans Memorial Parkway. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick in the news this week. John Fitzpatrick, the former Alabama All-American who played just about everywhere in the secondary for the Crimson Tide. He signs a 4-year, $73 million deal with the Steelers. Half of it is guaranteed, and really that's the guaranteed number, John will tell you, is the number that matters. But he is the highest paid safety in NFL history based on the $73 million. John, what about it?
I don't know if you remember this, though, but when this kid was playing at Alabama and probably his junior year, Nick Saban said this kid eventually going to be one of the best, probably going to be the best player in the NFL at his position. Nick called this. And he was dynamite at Alabama.
You know, one thing that I think made it clear to me anyway that Minkah Fitzpatrick was going to be big time is that Nick Saban trusted him enough to not only play more than one position, but I believe they had him at more than one position as a freshman, John. He was able to take in 2 spots in the secondary, at least to the point where they trusted him, if not playing him a lot there.
You're giving Nick Saban too much credit.
But
you're giving Nick Saban too much credit.
Why are you saying?
Because any coach with half a brain would see that kind of talent and realize you can play this kid anywhere you want to play him. Have anything about trust. Don't have anything to do with trust. This kid is a special talent. And any coach with half a brain will realize we have one at Northridge right now. It don't take It don't take a rocket science to know you can play T.J. Banks anywhere on the football field, and he's going to be successful.
I understand that. I guess my point was, John, to play two different positions in the secondary as a freshman, it takes more than just great physical ability. You got to be super sharp up here mentally with assignments, especially in the secondary, especially when you're talking about playing for Nick Saban, who's a secondary coach.
Not necessarily, though, because if you get into the inner working of any scheme, if you have a guy playing a different position that he's not comfortable in, you just dumb it down a little bit. You're not calling everything in the playbook. Just dumb it down to him, make sure he's comfortable and can play fast. So it don't necessarily mean he's just a great talent. That's all that is.
Well, we disagree. But that's okay. We've done that.
Yeah, because I coach
it happens.
You're right about football.
I can't. It's not possible that I know anything.
No, I mean, you coach. I coach. You're right about it.
All right, Crimson Cover ticker now. A little bit of news for you. Former Alabama basketball standout JaMychal Green traded from the Nuggets to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Lions wide receiver Jamison Williams, the rookie first-round pick, not cleared for training camp. Not sure when he'll be good to go this fall for the Lions. He's not going to be ready to go when they get camp started, however. And finally, Najee Harris, the Steelers running back, his snap count this season is probably going to come down. It looks like the Steelers are going to try to manage his workload a little bit. And we're going to stick with that here for a minute, John. Remember, Najee Harris was just a rookie last year. First year in the NFL, he played 980 snaps. He led all NFL running backs in snaps by far as a rookie. And he ended up touching the football 381 times. That's between rushes and receiving. The Steelers have now sat down Najee here in the offseason, John, and they basically said, look, we love you, but we want to save you a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to ratchet. We're going to bring it down. And I'm not sure he likes it.
I don't think Najee like that. I mean, he's a competitor. He wants the ball in his hand. I think he have the body type, and from what I've heard, he's put on about 20 pounds. I don't think he likes it, Chase, but I get it from a Steeler perspective. I mean, if you give the guy the ball 300, if he play, not even giving him the football. If he's in a game 900 snaps, he's getting hit most of those snaps.
Right.
And the longevity of that kind of situation is not going to be very long.
A running back's career is the shortest career in the league.
No question.
That's a fact. I don't need to have played in the NFL to know that, because that's just straight numbers.
You're right. You're right.
The average career for a running back in the NFL is a little less than 3 years, at last check, I think. And the Players Association keeps up with these things. I think the average running back is in and out of the NFL in 2.5 to 3 years.
That's about right. I bet you Najee Harris somewhere, though, right now, probably tomorrow, going to be somewhere in somebody's weight room or on somebody's field running, getting in shape, trying to get his body ready for this, because I know when he walk in training camp, he don't care what they told him, he's still going to want the football in his hand.
Yep. All right, we are going to have to go ahead and skip the mailbag this week. We'll come back with this week's mailbag question next week. Finally, before we get out of here, though, John, the College World Series is set. 4 out of 8 teams from the SEC in the College World Series: Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas A&M, and Arkansas.
I think it's awesome.
It's a tremendous contingent.
I didn't even know we played baseball in the SEC.
We got to go. For John, I'm Chase. See you next week.
I didn't even know we played baseball in the SEC.
The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites in Tuscaloosa invites you to come and experience our award-winning hotel and exceptional hospitality. We are located just minutes from the Alabama campus and area shopping. If it's business, shopping, groups, or family that bring you to town, call us to book your stay. Once you have stayed with us, you'll understand. We welcome you as our guest, and you depart as our friends. The Holiday Inn Express.
To Baseball Country, a ministry in West Alabama that reaches far outside the diamond. We create opportunities for people of all ages and backgrounds to encounter Jesus. From baseball and softball training for high school to the big leagues, to men's and women's team sports camps, men's and women's ministry, youth mentored hunts. custom retreats, and so much more. If you want to get in the game, email sam@baseballcountry.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
As you go about your day, you'll want to know what's happening to keep you ahead. WVUA 23 is all new and keeps you connected to the stories that affect you.